enough. Peter Doocy is live in Pointe du Hoc, I should say, where the cliffs overlook the English Channel. Peter.
And President Biden was speaking so softly in this sit-down with Volodymyr Zelensky in Paris a few minutes ago that the press pool in the room thought he said that this new $225 million is going to be for a new Ukrainian electrical grid. White House officials had to step in and say, no, it's actually just for normal munitions that could be used to defend an electrical grid. But that is what the president was getting at. He also said that he is sorry for congressional Republicans back home holding up some of that aid.
I apologize for those weeks of not knowing what's going to happen in terms of funding, because we had trouble getting the bill that we had to pass that had the money in it from some of our very conservative members who were holding it up. But we got it done finally.
President Biden focused his remarks yesterday, D-Day, on wars in Europe. Never mentioned Israel, but we know now that his staff is getting an earful about Israel from George Clooney. Mad, the president went so hard against the International Criminal Court's approval of a Bibi Netanyahu warrant approved in part by Clooney's wife, Amal. According to the Washington Post, Clooney called Steve Ricchetti, counselor to the president, to express concern about Biden's denunciation of arrest warrants sought by ICC prosecutors. The actor was also upset about the administration's initial openness to imposing sanctions on the ICC because his wife might be subject to the penalties. And here in France, we will hear from the president a little later at what has to be one of the most breathtaking backgrounds for a presidential speech since Ronald Reagan used it 40 years ago for a timeless speech about the Cold War. You can see the presidential lectern is sitting on top of a German bunker that Army Rangers during the D-Day invasion had to use grappling hooks to get to at the top of a 100-foot tall cliff. The president plans to speak about threats to freedom, threats to democracy. To get here to this stage, he's going to have to walk on a gravel pathway that is lined on either side by bomb remnants, not bomb remnants, by craters left behind by bombs. The scars of war are everywhere here in France. So it is so beautiful when you look out at the coast, and that's going to be the background for his speech at the top of these cliffs. But when you turn the camera around, it is just crater after crater after crater, and that is where the beast is going to pull up in the next hour or so. Back to you.
And sounds like it'll be a bumpy ride.
Yeah, no kid. So Peter, the reason they're there is you mentioned 40 years ago, Ronald Reagan gave the speech right there called, essentially it's been called The Boys of Pointe du Hoc. Peggy Noonan wrote the speech. It sounds like this White House wants him to be more like Reagan. Does this White House know that Reagan was a Republican?
Well, it is. You know, you look at everything that's going on back home over the last couple months, and it seems like the Democratic base, these people who are saying they're going to be uncommitted in the upcoming election because they have been in primaries, they want Joe Biden to be more like Bernie Sanders. But by coming here to this iconic destination anywhere in the world, Joe Biden is signaling that he sees himself more like Reagan. Whether or not, I don't think he's going to say, I'm Joe Biden, a second term will be just like Ronald Reagan's, but the imagery is unmistakable.
Right. Thanks, Peter. The other thing to keep in mind, too, is the president, by almost all accounts, is his foreign policy will be a negative on this election. And if you even look at Ian Bremmer, who wrote his report saying by all accounts, almost everything he's done has not worked out internationally. They point out how he got two new countries into NATO in that Wall Street Journal story, the Time magazine story. I did not know he worked the phones. Give him full credit for that. The two strong nations into NATO, they're already spending over their threshold. That's great. But the other stuff has not worked out, not just Afghanistan, half-assed measures with Gaza, now Israel, half-assed measures with Ukraine. According to NBC, there is friction in the relationship through both countries. They share a common goal in defending Ukraine against Russia, but from Zelensky's perspective, the U.S. is hamstringing him, and there's real frustration. Here's more with General Jack Keane.
The Biden administration doesn't publicly state the objective that they're really enforcing. And that is, they have from the outset wanted Ukraine to go to a negotiated settlement as soon as possible to end hostilities. And Zelensky's objective is clearly to retake all of the territory that Russia is occupying and drive those forces out of there. If Ukraine wants to use weapons to attack Moscow, which they've done with drones, because Russia is using weapons from Iran, ballistic missiles from North Korea, to attack the capital of Kyiv, certainly that should be permitted. It's unprecedented we would restrict a force from attacking an invader's country. That makes no sense operationally whatsoever.
So both of the governments are frustrated by the pace of the military assistance. And Zelensky's worried about Kharkiv, which is the second largest city in Ukraine, because he says they're vulnerable to falling and they need the assistance from the U.S.
You know, one of the extraordinary things that Peter reported from there in France was the fact that in that meeting with Zelensky and our president, Joe Biden was doing what we were talking about earlier this week. The Wall Street Journal talked to 45 Republicans and Democrats and staff members and talked about how our president has lost a step. And one of the things their complaints was that he speaks so softly, people who are right next to him can't hear him or can't understand him. And apparently, that's what happened. The traveling press pool in that room with him, it sounded like he's talking about the electrical grid. No, he was talking about a $225 million ammo shipment that they're getting ready. But because he was not clear, unfortunately, there was some confusion. Thankfully, the White House stepped in and said, no, that's not what he was saying. He was saying this. Well, he should have said that a little louder. If you're going to be on the world stage, the world is a big place, talk louder.
Well, when I hear from my president, I want to be inspired. I want to be motivated. And when you can't understand him or he talks so softly, that's not the message he's sending out to our country.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.